Welcome everybody to the Complete Streets implementation along Washington Street. With us here, we have Benny Hung from Environmental Partners, who designed the project. So here he is.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Good evening. So my name is Benny Hung. I'm from Environmental Partners. We are the designer of this project, and we are hired by the town to request the funding for this project and also the design of this project. And then I'm just going to go over like an overview of this project about. Next. Yes, so, yeah, Lex. Yes, so let me start from the existing conditions. So the project itself is along Washington Street, is from Bedford Street on the northern side of the Bedford intersection to the southern side of Bedford Street on the intersecting the Washington Street. And then the length of the project is about a mile and a half. And then as you can, if I'm familiar with the project, the location is there. Within the location, there is the Abington Middle School and High Schools on the left-hand side, on the left of the Washington Street, and then the Old Folio Middle School buildings, and then also the Beaverbrook Elementary School is on the right-hand side, and also the baseball field. And also there is a recent constructed parking lot on the tennis court, so to provide additional parkings in there. This is something that people are more concerned about, the parking there. So the town has like recently constructed parking lot there, so to improve, to getting more parking space in there for doing the
36 spaces.
36 spaces for that. So next. And also there is another recently built shared use path that is using the previous funding for the Complete Street. So they built it about a couple years ago. So that one is we try to connect, have connectivity from the school and then to the Washington Street, and this is kind of what the new proposal is going to be for this project. Next. Yes. So along the Washington Street, the existing roadway width is kind of varies between 26 feet to 46 feet wide. And then and along that there's lack of bicycle accommodation. There is a wide shoulder, but there's not really striped for bicycle lanes, so people can use for parking there. So that's why we try to be formalized it. So we've tried to have a bicycle accommodation lanes in there. And also the sidewalk along Washington Street, and there is some existing sidewalk along one side of the street, and then some is both sides of the street. But as far as the condition within the project is they are not poor conditions, and then they are not ADA compliant as well. And also the pedestrian curb ramp, existing pedestrian also is not ADA compliant for that. You can see this on the picture on the right. So there is the sidewalk, and also the ramp is like they don't have like a panels in there, the tackle panel for that. So next. And then as far as the proposed conditions, so there's a two part of the project. One is we try to improve the pedestrian accommodation for that. So the project is for the sidewalk, which is for this project is within the Lantern Lane on the northern side of Washington Street, all the way down to the Beaverbrook Elementary School driveway entrance. So what we're doing is we are replacing the existing sidewalk that is not ADA compliant. And to be ADA, and we constructed with a 6 foot wide sidewalk, cement concrete sidewalk with granite curbing. So we'll be ADA compliant with the curb ramp. Yeah, so as I say, the proposed work for this for the improve the pedestrian accommodation is reconstructing the sidewalk along the eastern side of it, where existing. So so with the 6 foot cement concrete sidewalk with a granite curbing along the existing existing locations. So we are not really changing the major location of that, and mostly could be retained. Next. As you can see, so this is kind of what looks like with the ADA compliant pedestrian curb ramp with the sidewalk and cement concrete sidewalk. So this is kind of what it looks like. Next. And then the second part of the project for this one is to improve our bicycle accommodations. So along Washington Street. So Since we are not changing the roadway width or any roadway reconstruction, we kind of using what there is existing. As I mentioned to you before, the existing roadway width is about 24 feet to about 46 feet. So whatever we can use it on that, 47 feet. So there is majority of the road that is going to be doing is that we're doing a buffer bike lane on that, which is we are going to we're going to provide 11-foot travel lane each directions, and then a various width for the buffer, so we can have a more protection for the bike, and then a 5-foot bike lane on there. So this is one of the locations that we're going to be doing that, and then the other location that's going to be a traditional bike lane, which is because depends on the roadway width. So where we can fit a buffer bike, buffer on that, so we'll put a buffer bike in there. Other location we will be doing a traditional bike lane, which have a 5-foot bike, 5-foot minimum bicycle commercial lane, and then a 11-foot travel lane. Next, and then the next one is going to be some locations could be when there's enough width for the bicycle lane, then we're going to have a share road, which is going to be on a small section of the road, which the existing section section of the Washington Street that is not including have enough width for the traditional separate bike lane. So that's why we have to put a share bike lane, so share marking. So at least telling the vehicle there will be a bicycle sharing the lanes in there on the road itself. So just like the pictures in there. And then we assume, so this is kind of what we have overview of the project about for that. And then this, we are planning to have these constructions before the school, after the school ends on June, and then we want to anticipate to be complete the construction before the school starts. So there will be a list of impact to the school. So that is kind of concluding our presentations, and see if any questions on that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sean, ask questions.
Turn the microphone to you, John.
All right.
Just a resident with a couple of questions. So I just want to confirm, so the sidewalk renovation or improvement is going to go from Lantern Lane to what we call the rear entrance to Beaver Brook?
Correct.
Yes, yep.
And that's
About
going to be,
1,800 feet.
all right. Granite
Granite curbing.
Granite curbing.
We're gonna go with concrete sidewalk.
concrete sidewalks instead of paved sidewalks?
Absolutely.
Great.
Lasts
Yeah.
longer, and there's not a big price difference right now.
Much like Abington Center has.
Correct.
Yes, yeah.
And you mentioned the bike lane would go from one end of Washington Street at Trukey's
Trukey's,
all
yeah,
the way
to
to
the
the
church.
top of the hill near the UCC church.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be mainly road markings.
Any more markings, yep. So
Road
we're
mar-
not,
It's not gonna be a dedicated bike path. It's gonna
Right,
be road
in
markings.
different locations.
different locations. So in the location where it fits on if there's if you have room including for the buffer bike lane,
Right.
then we'll put in there. So when there's not enough, then we'll just put a traditional bike lane in there with no buffer.
So,
If there's not enough space, we'll be putting sharrows.
And-
right, where the road is wide enough, you'll have a travel lane, 11-foot travel lane like you have now, but you're gonna
Correct.
have a marked
Marked
bike
bike
lane.
lane,
And
correct.
when
On
it's
both
really
sides.
wide, you'll have a buffer strip between the bike lane and the mark lane.
Yeah.
Where it isn't wide enough,
Then there
the
will be a
vehicle lane and the
share.
bike lane will overlap.
Yeah.
With the
With the
bike
share road,
markings,
yeah.
just basically to say, watch for bikes. Bikes
Yeah,
have the
it's
right
like
to
share
go.
the road, yeah.
Yep, they share the road.
So we, along the Washington Street, also we're gonna have like signage to telling the people, the vehicle, that there will be what's gonna be bicycle lanes, or it's a
Right.
share the road, so they know where it's gonna be.
Now, do the bicycle lanes get painted after the sidewalk project is done, or you be doing both things at the same
It will
time?
be both at the same
After.
time. Well, I mean, finish that, the sidewalk first, and then we do the bicycle
Okay.
marking, so.
So one of the questions I heard from some of the neighbors and the residents, I think it's great, because we're trying to get pedestrian bike connections from our
From the school.
playing areas, like from the schools, so you can ride your bike from Abington Middle School or High School, and you can take the current bike lane all the way down to Memorial Field.
That's the
Yeah.
goal.
Yeah.
This
that's
will
the
allow
goal
you
to
to now
connect it.
have a safer bike lane to go towards Island Grove or whatnot. But there was questions, sometimes, like, we usually have fireworks or big events at Memorial Field, so people end up parking, not only in the parking lots down Memorial Field, but along Washington Street. Maybe you guys don't answer this as a police question later, but what is the thought about people parking along the side of the street, which would effectively now be parking in the bike lane on Washington Street, close to just for those big events, but is
Yeah, I
that?
mean, it's not many events.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
5 football games a year.
Couple of
maybe.
home football games, right?
Home football games
Fireworks.
and the fireworks,
So it's, just so people know, when,
We did build that parking lot down at the tennis courts that
Yep.
accommodates 35 cars,
that helps.
so that helps. And then in front of the Frollo, we'll be striping some parking.
Yep,
You know
so
where the
we-
people play pickleball now?
Yeah,
Yep.
And they're parking diagonally?
yes.
We're
Yeah.
gonna stripe
You're
those.
gonna stripe that so
Yeah.
it is,
There'll be
encourages
actual-
There
people
will
to
be
do that.
actual
There will
parking,
be actual
yeah.
parking spots.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, but-
Instead of parallel parking, which takes up more
Exactly.
space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
So
we'll be
that,
parking there,
yeah.
and then I think, there's not that many events.
yeah.
Right, so and that's brings up another question, so the current sidewalk layout in front of the Frollo is going to remain the
It
same?
will be
It's
remain
gonna
the
be
same,
an upgraded
yep.
sidewalk?
Exactly, yeah.
And you're gonna paint angled parking in
Correct.
that bump out area?
Yeah, we'll see how much space do we have. So
Right.
it might be either angle or we might not be angled, then will be the regular parking,
Yeah,
parallel parking.
perpendicular
Yeah,
or parallel.
Yeah,
I mean,
parallel, yeah, parallel.
Not parallel, like, well, whatever
Yeah,
can
whatever that
maximize, I
room
think,
in
your
there,
safety.
yeah.
No, I think it's a great idea, because that gets used a lot in the first car. If the first car pulls up in parallel parks, it kind of messes it up for the rest of the people.
Yeah.
But if you
Right.
have painted
Yeah, so
angled,
paint the angle or parallel,
more
depends on
cars.
what room do we have in there. So because we are not widening the road itself, so we still have to retain the sidewalk and then the parallel, the parking and also a bike lane on that, so.
Right.
So that's why there will be, depends on what room do we have in there.
so I'm assuming, what is the design in Abington Center? Are we redoing the sidewalks? No, we're not redoing the sidewalks in Abington Center.
No.
We have currently parking along the side of the street in Abington Center. Is that an area where the bike lane will be in the travel lane, or will you create a bike lane?
Well, there's some area that there is enough room, there will be a bike lane there,
Mm-hmm.
a separate bike, like a dedicated bike lane. But some area that will be, maybe a shared road,
Yep.
a share street.
I think it's great, I'm just
Oh, yeah.
curious, because
Yeah,
you're
definitely.
Yeah,
you're
definitely. At
limited
least
to
we
your
provide,
geographics.
yeah, you at least would provide some sort of like accommodation for that, so they will, the vehicle or the bicycle know where they go in and which directions in there, so.
I think the new sidewalk project itself is going to be a
Absolutely.
huge benefit, because they are in bad shape, and those
Yeah,
are heavily used
exactly.
sidewalks with
Yep.
all the schools in that area, the playing field, so it's wonderful. And this is all with a state grant?
This
Yes,
is a $500,000 state grant.
yeah, so
The
this,
second one we've got in the Complete Streets program.
yeah, so this, yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so they will be connecting to the share use path for the, along, Lincoln Boulevard. So we completed the picture
Yep.
of the bicycle and pedestrian accommodation for that. They both are from the Complete Street, grant from MassDOT.
And I think you mentioned construction would start after the school closes
Yes,
for the
yeah,
summer.
this is our.
And it will be done before
It'll be
school
fine.
reopens.
Yeah, so it'll be less impact for the school.
This is something we're hiring a company to do the construction.
It's got to go out to bid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
They have
do
to be
that.
approved by the state.
Right.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
contractor.
Yeah, so that's why we put in the final, working on the final design and put it out to bid, somewhere around June, so the construction will start about July and
Yep.
August and finish by the end of August, so before the school starts.
Great.
And then someday we'd like to continue down Ralph Hamlin with the sidewalk and the bike lanes.
Yeah,
So people could continue to ride
continue
bike
to
or
ride
walk
bike.
into, go through the cemetery paths,
Yes.
out to Central Street, up to Griffin's Dairy.
Correct.
yeah.
And then you
So
can get to the
we
rail trail, pretty,
That's-
up there on Monroe.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, so
Wonderful.
it'll be just piece by piece, so to
Piece
connect
by
the
piece,
puzzle.
yeah.
Yeah, so for those of us who don't use bikes right now, maybe we'll start using it.
Yeah, yeah, it is, definitely.
Be a little
some
safer
people-
for a lot
It
of
is,
people.
yeah.
And
some
it's safer for sidewalks, for pedestrians walking.
Yeah,
It'll be a lot safer for them as
wonderful,
well.
great, thanks.
No problem.
Anyone in the chat have any questions?
Sorry, I'm late.
It's all right, Rick. Do you have any questions? You want to
Yeah,
come up and
do you
ask
have
questions?
Could I see it again?
Sure.
Don't have to go through the whole show, but we can.
I'm sure, I mean, I can give you an overview, I see it's still recording, or,
You can probably stop recording and just show.
you can,
Rick,
or do you want
Any
to listen, okay?
Yeah. Anyone from Zoom have any questions?
Yeah,
Any hands raised?
What's your phone number if they do have questions?
781-982-2122.
Is any of this information gonna be on your website?
Already is.
What's the
Already.
website?
What's the website, Jeannie? abingtonma.gov.
That's right. Great.
And we have our own page, DPW.
Wow.
We can put this whole presentation on the website.
Yeah, we can put that
Yes.
for
Tomorrow.
session as well too, yeah. So, yeah.
Great. Any questions, Nicole?
All right, so I guess that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you.